taught or got it. Um, I'm sorry. I haven't done anything like this over Zoom. I haven't been teaching the last couple of years either, since the pandemic started. So I've taken a little bit of a break. I've also taken a little bit of a break of beading all by itself, to be honest. I've been doing beading. I've been doing a little bit of designing. And that I pulled back a little bit has a lot to do with what is happening in the world, what is happening in our politics. And that hasn't made me very creative. If you have answers, please interrupt me and ask me anything you'd like to know. I'd be happy to answer. I never know exactly what to do on these presentations. I've done a couple at other beach societies. So I said this time I'll be happy to take you around in my studio, since this is such a unique experience that you can just be in my house. I have pretty much my whole house is a workspace for me, but let me turn this around and you can see my work table as it is right now. The things I'm working on at the moment is this, and the lighting is a little bit off, so let me turn it around. I'll stand on this side and I'll show you it from the other side so you can see it better. This is something I've been working on, and it's wrapped around an antler, my butterflies, some leaves, and so on. I've been trying lately to step away a little bit from jewelry and making more things that can stand on their own. What I have been doing in these, what I like about my studio is that I want it quiet and pretty around me. So I display my jewelry around me. So here are 4 of my pieces. One has the bees on the honeycomb. The next one is my pansy, the cubic right angle weave, and a water lily. Above there, that is inspired by my garden. It's the little birds that fly around in my garden eating from a seed ball. Next to it is something I did a while ago. It's based on little flowers and what is that? I can't find the word now. If I can find it, I'll tell you. And another cubic right angle weave.
Sweet peas. Those are sweet peas, aren't they?
Yeah, they're sweet peas, but it's based on a certain Art Deco. That's what it is, or Art Nouveau. That is the design of it. And then up here, that is one of my later ones, the Ocean Life. I've done Ocean Life before, but this one is one that I've only created just a little while ago. And I'm starting to do more things like this that are also wearable by men, or at least I think they are wearable by men. Oh boy, I've turned my, sorry. Am I back? Yes, I think so. I turned my, in this corner here, I do my knitting and crocheting. And oh, here. This I've been doing since a while, the storefronts at a knitting store here in the city. And this is going to be my new storefront to do cats playing with yarn. And I did 2 Afghans also with little cats here in the corner. This is an amazing design from a lady on the Ravelry. So it starts, she designed this for her mom, and it starts with little tulips here in the middle. And her mom loved flowers. So here's a whole bundle of tulips. And then around that is little Dutch girls holding hands. Then it goes over again into flower beds with trees in between. And in between the trees, there are owls. The owls go over into snowdrops and daffodils. And then there are the cats. So I thought it was a fun combination of, there are two windows. So I'll put the two blankets in one window, and in the other window I will put the cats. I also display my jewelry in shadow boxes. This was one of my very first bigger ones, which was a big mistake. Because there's, if you can see it, but it's also muted or muddled, that you can hardly see the hummingbird in the necklace. So if I would do this again, I would take brighter colors for the hummingbird so that it would pop out a little bit more. And then next to it is another water lily one. And then here is one of my figures. This is a water spirit, or at least that's what I see of it. Then let me see. So there are all my knitting needles hanging on hooks. I've also painted for a while. So here's one of my paintings, and that's standing next to Mary herself with the baby Jesus, who I've given a necklace around her neck. Here are some more pieces, hair pieces, and pieces to put in shawl clips, shawl pins. So that is that side of my, and then here are the love letters that Marcia da Costa did. I'm sure you all have also done a couple of them. I combined them with the mice, and because it was around the same time as the big women's marches. And sometimes for me, it feels like we people are mice, and the big cats on the top are trying to ruin it all. So I added mice on this, and there's one mouse right here, who is what I crocheted a tiny little, let me see if you can see that, a little pushy hat for. So, and then one of them holds the banner, love wins. Then we go a little bit further up. I love.
There's a question.
Yeah.
Is the gun beaded as well?
No, the gun is not beaded yet. The gun I found, it's a children's gun, and I do want to beat it. I have an idea of having it dripping with teardrops, because that's how I feel about guns. And then here, roses and small butterflies. I like making these necklaces that are little stories by themselves, to be honest. And then when we go down, there is a hand hanging with all my kind of bracelets I've been doing. Here, another piece that very wearable by man. And I've been playing a little bit with, that is my soft sculpture. I've done soft sculptures before. And behind it, there are some ties hanging with bones of turkey. And I'm going to try to put those on the ties with some beadwork. I don't know how it's going to be working yet, but that is my board of inspiration. Another one, let me see. Oh, this one I did for Halloween, because I have that little skull. What I love about it is that the eyes are also pearls and are hanging on the inside of the skull. This one is a full tie. So also very male wearable. And
Paulette would like to know whether or not you draw your designs or you just bead freeform after you have your idea.
Um, I do freeform. I have an idea in my head, and I start beating the idea in my head, and then the beats guide me in what is possible, yes or no, because the ideas in my head are never what comes out of my hands.
I love that.
So that's how I work. This one is called the early bird, because the early bird has the worm. And that started with the eyes. The eyes are eyes for soft animals. And I bought those somewhere in Canada, and I thought, let's do something fun with it. I have another whole bundle of them, so I'm also going to do a pink eye bracelet. Then this is also one of my later ones. I saw an amazing picture of these mushrooms growing on a tree trunk, and on the one side all these green little leaves. So that was my inspiration, and it came out like this necklace. As I said, I also been crocheting, and since I like these taxidermy animals, I've been crocheting some taxidermy animals that are hanging on my walls. These, and then we get to this little corner up here. This one is based on the idea that came from the cover of a book, Moby Dick. So on one side there is the the boat, totally three-dimensional. On the other side is Moby Dick. He's a little grayer because the beats became grayer while I was working on them. And then here are tiny little men in tiny little boats hunting the whale. All right. Then I have pieces that will never get finished. And one of them is this dragon. I started that years ago. And for some reason, it just doesn't want to get finished. So it's not going to get finished. Next to him is standing.
You could just turn him into a finger puppet.
Exactly. I could do that. I could do that. And as you can see, I'm very interested by all kinds of insects. So I have all kinds of dried insects all around my workspace, and just things that inspire me. Let me get my chair closer by, because let me see. This is a very fun piece, or at least I think it's a very fun one. It sits on your hand. You see, I'm so new with this kind of Zoom kind of crap. So that's how he sits. Turn this around. Let me see if I can do this better. So, there is the camera. Hello. So that sits on your hand. It wraps around your wrist. This was a class I've done a while ago called Feature Creatures. This is one of them. I did another one that has a little magnet. This one. This one has a little magnet under his feet that comes off. There, you can put him on your shoulder, and then I'm really bad at this. This one goes under your shirt, and then it clicks, and then he sits on your shoulder, and he steals the necklace from your neck. So the necklace goes around your neck, closes up, and hangs half off your neck while he's holding it in his little beak.
Does he have a name?
No, I don't give names. It's just my feature creature. Then this is pretty much how my whole beadwork adventure started, with this Russian bead lace. That was once years ago in a bead and button and a friend of mine asked me to do her wedding gown, and she bought a whole bundle of beads to do on her wedding gown. Or she found a piece of fabric which was beaded. And I thought I'm going to do the same beading on the train of her gown. And I used a beaded fabric to make a jacket. And with the beads, I had never worked with beads, to be honest. And so I had a bundle of beads left over, and where I bought the beads was a little bead store here in this city. What is it called now again? General Bead, and they had a magazine, Bead and Button. This was the first bead magazine that I've ever bought, and they had this pattern in there, and that's what I made. My first beaded necklace after I had done the wedding dress and I had leftover beads. I made a necklace with the leftover beads, and I had a little studio where I didn't sell anything because I was trying to become a painter and the world decided differently. But when I put my first necklace in my storefront, it sold within a couple of hours. And every time I made something out of beads, it would sell very quickly. So that's how I got into beading, because I was a poor artist who wanted some money. All right, and there we go. Up here, there are another couple of ones, another butterfly. This is one of those blue and yellow three-dimensional capuchons. Some three-dimensional stars, and a pig that a friend of mine gave me. This is a very nice necklace, I think. Let me get there. Now I'm a little bit more. This necklace is wearable in two ways. You can turn it around and it becomes very different. It stands up more on the neck and then it lies down. So those are, and here are my dried insects, lots of them. And then
Somebody
here.
who wanted that you would show a closer look of your octopus.
Oh, yeah, sure. That is an octopus I bought at Beat and Button years ago. This one you're talking about, I'm guessing.
Unless there's more.
I
But yeah.
Yeah, this was a glass artist that I met at Beat and Button, and he was selling his work for way too little money. So I spent some money on this amazing octopus. And that led, let me see where I have them. So this is how I store my beads.
Wow, I'm so jealous.
This is a kimono chest. And the drawers inside are the depth of kimonos. So that's how I store my beads. And then I try to keep them by color, which doesn't always work, but most of the time it does. So I store my finished beadwork in food delivery containers, because you gotta recycle, right? But anyways, to talk about more about the octopus, here I am playing with a new design of making some in beads. So the first one came out with very stiff little arms. And then after that, I decided to do more there.
They're adorable.
Yeah, so those I'm thinking of combining with the ocean life necklace that you saw earlier. And then this is another one of those pieces that is not finished yet. So on this side, there's water coming down. In here, there's a little gazebo, and in there is standing what is the it's after an opera, lady something. So she's waiting there for lover to come home, and on this side there's a Japanese garden that are the little trees and bushes.
That would be Madame Butterfly.
Exactly, that is the one I was looking for. I'm sorry, thank you very much. So this is based on the Madame Butterfly waiting for her lover in the gazebo here, with the path, the stone path going into the garden, and on one side the water, tiny little lanterns here, and that is waiting to be finished one day. Yeah, there it is. Okay. All right. Let me see. So I'll show you slowly around my workroom. So there is where I have my own bracelets hanging and my books, a lot of beading books and knitting books. My beads are stored there, and my cabinet a little bit closer, my computer, a colorful elephant. The mice you see will also be a part of the window. They're taxidermy mice. One has little earrings, the other one has a necklace, and the third one has a bow tie. Okay. Well, then we're gone through my workspace, I think. Are there questions? Do you want to see things up close?
Space. I mean, it's really cool. So when you said that some of your older pieces were a little mottled in color, have you changed over the years the colors that you bring out your imaginary worlds in, like a lot, or?
Oh, absolutely. So one of the beautiful things of working with the color wheel is that you can find complementary colors. And I've been much more doing that, looking at what are the colors that are complementary, so that things pop out a little bit more. I do write patterns. If you look on my website, you will see kits and patterns that I have for sale. Not all of them. There are some things that I just, the bigger pieces are one-of-a-kind pieces. So that is my workroom. Here in my house at the moment, it's let me turn you around again. There we go. My house is a little bit of a mess at the moment. We're refinishing the floors everywhere, and the front of the house and the back of the house is going to be painted. Upstairs is going to be a little kitchen placed in. So our house is a little bit of a mess. But let me take you around. This is our entranceway. Now I have to turn you around again. This is our entranceway. I didn't totally get that message. That's that question. The last question. Do you kind of? So we are having a shoe rack built in here. Oh, the bracelet on my wrist. That was this one. It's got the eyes, so eye beads. A friend of mine had a whole bundle of them, and he asked me, or he gave them to me, so I made a necklace out of them. And so there's my basket with knitted shawls. And then we walk into, and so he asked me to do, or he gave them to me, and I made a bracelet or a necklace out of it for him. And then also a matching bracelet, but the bracelet didn't fit. So he gave me the bracelet back, and he told me to keep it. This is our kitchen, which is my other workroom, a little bit messy at the moment because they're starting to finish the floors. There's a living room, and it is all empty because this is where they're going to do the floors tomorrow, which I'm not looking forward to. And then we look, oh, I can take you out here so you have an overview of the garden from the top of the house. It's very windy at the moment. It always gets windy here in the evenings. And now I can hardly see anything. So this is the backyard. And I'll take you through the house to the backyard. So all the art that was normally on the walls is now gone. I've been an inspiration to lots of artists. This was one of them. He painted me when I was 21. So that's me in blue and yellow. All right, and then we walk down the stairs, and here in the corner, there's another fun piece that I want to show you. This one. We made this with the San Francisco Man Knitting Group a couple of years ago, when the refugees from other countries were called asshole countries or shithole countries. There was a lady here in San Francisco who wanted to get some attention for especially the refugees and the work that they're doing. And she wanted to get some money together. So she came up with this idea to get a whole bundle of these enormous pillars and have people, just all kinds of groups and children and refugees, all kinds of people, to cover them with crochet or knitted pieces, fabric. And she had in a total 60 of them. It was really an amazing exhibit. And this one is done by our group, My Idea. So these are all flags from all over the world. And on top of it is standing Lady Liberty, holding what she's holding, and the flame. And her skin is that greenish stuff. And I sewn it all together with the green stuff and called it Our Common Thread. To just ask for, you know, we're all together in this, and let's treat each other in a respectful way. Then we're going into my other workroom that Jeff has taken over right at the moment. So this is my room where I do my cardboard box houses, and where I make kits, and where I do ironing and so on. And then I have here, those were also for a window, snowflakes. And as you can see, I love my bones and skulls and so on. And then here are another couple of pieces standing there. And then under there, those are all my beads for kids. So I saved them in yogurt cans. And here there's my bead board with all the colors of beads that I have, with the numbers that they have. And as you can see, I was an inspiration for this guy, and for this guy, and for this guy. And that's my husband. And my room of just stuff. And there's another, that is an artist I met in Ukraine who painted me as a clown. Right there. All right. Then I will take you to my garden. This is right through our bedroom, and I won't, I'll keep you away from the bed because the bed is not made yet. All right, so we've just got a new deck, which I'm very happy with. It looks very nice. And we're gonna have a bathtub installed on the side so I can be outside having a bath. And then Jeff does the garden most of the time. And things like these mushrooms under the, these are all, don't ask me names for flowers and plants because I don't know them. So I've got a whole bundle of, let me see, can I find him? There he is. I have a whole bundle of little gnomes living in my garden. And that's one of their houses. I love these flowers. Let me see. There it is. These, I really love these flowers. And we have a clematis at the moment that is unbelievable. Right here. It is so pretty at the moment. The flowers that it's been giving, they're enormous. Let me show my hand as you can see about the size they are. And I love how things just grow here in between the tiles and come up wherever they want to. So there's one of the gnomes looking up the stairs, just holding an eye on who's coming down. There's another gnome right here with another couple of the mushrooms. So those are the things I like to do in the garden, and Jeff does the gardening, and I tell him what kind of flowers and plants we want. He gets these magazines and we go through them together. We had a little pond or a fountain, but we turned that off because there's some disease going around here in the city in the fountains, and it's killing the birds. And we haven't had birds in here for a while, so we thought it was time for us to turn it off and save the birds. And then these bamboo things is Jeff had a shower out here, and he had connected all these bamboo pipes through the whole garden, and it was connected to the shower, so all the shower water would run through the garden, and that was the way we are watering the garden, because we got to be careful with the water because we don't have that much. So then we've got here another little one of the houses of my little gnomes. And the garden is for a big part over its peak. It was all purple a couple of weeks ago. Then we've got another couple of gnomes. They're home at the moment and working in the garden, I guess. All right. And then there's my pooping gnome with his iPhone on the toilet. And these two, I've never figured out what they were doing, but one of them is coming out of the coat of the other one. So I think we've caught them on doing something nasty. And then there's Stoffels, the turtle. And then we come in the back of the yard, where we have on this side a lemon tree, and behind it a plum tree that has never given us any fruit. So we're probably going to take that out. And then on the other side, Jeff has just planted a whole bundle of wildflowers here. And they are just starting to come out. The pink ones there in the back, some white ones here in the front. I love the poppies. And I love the poppy, how they make the seed pods. Then when we walk down a little bit, behind here, we have a vegetable garden, which needs a lot of work at the moment. Jeff doesn't have the time at the moment to do a lot of gardening because of his job. And then on the other side, we have an apple tree, and it's giving a lot of apples already at the moment. And also there somewhere, there it is, hidden, another one of my funny little gnome houses. All right, And I'll take you slowly back into my house.
So when you post the pictures of your animals and stuff and all the trees and around, you put them in your garden or are you putting them around?
No. So as I said earlier, let me take you inside. And the cats that I just showed you that are going to be in the windows at Imagine It, they will be in trees eventually too. So when you go on Facebook and look at my pictures on Facebook, you will see a whole bundle of, let me turn this around so you can see me again. When Trump became the president, I know I shouldn't become political, and I'll try not to, but Trump didn't make me happy. And I felt unsafe as a gay man. And I have always seen myself as a whole bundle of people in one. I see myself as, back into my studio. I see myself as a 4 or 5 year old girl. I see myself as a teenage boy. I see myself as a 40, 45-year-old daddy. And I see myself as a grandma. And when Trump became president, I felt unsafe. I felt threatened. And my little girl, my inside little girl, really didn't want to go outside anymore. So I wanted to make a world that was a little bit more pleasant to go outside to, make it a little bit more full of wonder. So I started crocheting animals, and I've been putting them in trees all around my neighborhood, which has been called now the Diamond. I'm living on Diamond Street, the Diamond Street Zoo. So there are about, I started that 5 or 6 years ago. And there are now, I think, 20 different trees that have an animal. And some have a couple. The last ones I've added were ants. The ants were first a part of a display in Imagine It, in the windows, in the storefront of a picnic. I had a picnic blanket and I had done all kinds of food, crocheted food, and then a whole bundle of ants. I still have 2 of them. They didn't make it into the tree yet. Let me turn this around again so you can see them. Right there they are.
So cute.
Yeah, they are very fun. And so these didn't make it in the tree yet. I think they wanted to stay with me. So that's how I've done. I wouldn't know how to show you pictures on here, to be honest.
We
To
can go
share.
to your Facebook and see. Yeah, if you don't follow Huib on Facebook, you should, because your pictures are so whimsical.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I have one here in the front in my own house. I can see if I can. If I'm losing you, I'll run back inside. I made a little devil, and I wanted to put that in the front of a church here a little bit further up. So this is my front. And my husband said that I shouldn't put it in the church. So it ended up here.
Oh, cute.
And I do things, I like making all these kind of funny things. So I've been also working with cardboard lately. Here, these are a little mushroom out there. But I've been making cardboard things like this one. And at a certain moment, I had like 4 houses here in the front. There's only 1 left because they're cardboard and they fall apart. So this is the one that is left over. So yeah, they're all, let me see if you can see them. So there are crabs in this tree. That's the crab tree. Mushrooms here. And there are mushrooms on the other side of the street too. There are monkeys a little bit further up. That was also, there are two girls living a little bit further up, two beautiful little blonde girls. And after I had put some birds up in a tree, they came and asked me if I would do something in their tree too. And then I said, yes, sure, I'll do something in your tree. And then the young one said, yeah, but we want 4 because we live with 4 people in the house.
Oh.
So I made 4 of them, 4 monkeys, and they're there in their tree. I did a couple of years before that, I did a witch's hat that I had on my lamp on the porch. And they walked by and they were admiring my Halloween decorations. And I said to the older one, if that witch's hat fits you, you can have it. And of course it fitted her. And then I told the younger one, I'll make you one too. Then about 2 weeks after I gave the younger one also a witch's hat, they stopped by my door, both wearing the witch's hat, all happy and proud and just coming to show me. And I took a picture of them. And then I saw this girl in the back standing there, a friend of theirs that came slowly closer and closer. So I said to her, now you want one too, right? And she said, yeah, I would love one. And I told her, well, give me some time and I'll make you one too. And then that younger girl again said, yeah, and she's got a younger sister too. So that's how they're keeping me busy. And another fun thing, so I started doing that, and a newspaper, a neighborhood little newspaper, caught on to it and did an article that ended with the question, who knows who is doing this? Because I did it anonymous and I just put them in there. So they found me eventually. And now I do, people who ask me when they walk by and they ask me if I would make something for them. These are all patterns that I find on Ravelry and Etsy and places like that. So they're asking me if I can make them one of them, those creatures for in a tree in their tree. And what I've been doing is asking them to do a donation because I cannot sell them because they're not my designs, right? That would just not be fair. So I've asked them to do a donation to a good cause, and I make them something. So that's my story of the animals all around the neighborhood.
We have a question about what the yarn shop is that you design the windows for.
It's called Imagine It. It's on. It's in the Castro on 18th Street. I do that also voluntarily. I've come there for a while already, and I buy my yarn there, and their storefronts are always a little bit of a mess. So at a certain moment, I asked them if they would be okay if I would do a storefront for them, and since then I've been constantly doing them.
So now you're doing a storefront every couple months for them?
Yeah. And so I combine them. So at the moment, last time at the moment there are spiders in the storefront, spiders spinning with a big spinning wheel, the spider with a drop spindle. So there are 2 windows with spiders spinning and playing with yarn. And what I showed you just now, the two cats and the blankets, that will be the next windows. And then the spiders come out. So the next yarn bomb in the neighborhood here will be the spiders. So that's a nice combination to do as well, the spiders in the storefront. And then from there, they go into my neighborhood zoo. Yeah.
What's the yarn you like to use to make the animals? What type of yarn works the best?
So I use acrylic yarn for my outside animals because those hold up the longest. And at a certain moment, I take them out of the trees again because they start falling apart. But it's, for one, it's the cheapest, and it's going to be out there anyways. And sometimes they just disappear because people like them. But I use acrylic mostly, and yarn that people get.
That will last a long time.
Well, the first one, and it is still up there, or a whole bundle of the first ones are still up there. 5-6 years now, they've been out there. They have changed color. They're much lighter than they used to be, but they're still out there.
That's so adorable. Everybody is loving your neighborhood zoo, and they just think you're just the most kindest, generous soul to do this and really inspire and making everybody so happy,
I don't think of myself as an artist. I think I'm a craftsman, and I think I'm a good craftsman and an accidental artist. I make now and then pieces that are standing out and doing more than just a craft. I think my neighborhood zoo is one of those accidental art installations, because what it has done, it has changed my neighborhood. For one, I now know most of my neighbors. I know some of my neighbors so well that I have their keys to their houses so that I can take care of their dog or their bunnies, or keep an eye on their house when they're out of town. And that is not just me, that is the whole neighborhood. People have been looking at these creatures everywhere in the tree and started talking to each other and having fun with each other. So in that way, I think I've changed this neighborhood from people who didn't know each other into a real neighborhood with people taking care of each other and knowing each other. So I never meant to do that. It has become one of the attractions of San Francisco. People are really looking for because there's another article that was in Huffington Post or something, the Huntington Post, one of those little papers, another one in the San Francisco Chronicle. There's a radio show coming up also all about this random acts of kindness. She's done an interview with me. And it has brought children out, which I also very happy with. Children that are taking over the street and started to do chalk drawings on the street. And I'm hearing from moms that since I've been doing these things out there on the street, that they feel that they can have their children on the street and doing things to the street that in this very white, very upper class neighborhood, this is not the hate. So it really has changed the neighborhood. And I think in that way, my crocheted creatures out there have become an art installation by accident, because I was doing it pretty much for this little girl inside of me who was too afraid to go outside anymore.
That's so special. What a wonderful way to deal with it. I think it's, an inspirational story for us all of how to deal with our own.
I hope so. I hope
Yeah.
so. I hope so. That is with most of my work. I like to inspire others. I love. I haven't been teaching for a while, but I've always loved teaching. I'm also a little bit. I'm not ready to teach yet. After this whole political thing, and I feel as an artist that I have the responsibility to be out there with how I feel and how I think, and I'm one of the people who can give words to the things that are happening, and I find it important to do. What that also has done is that in places where I've taught, places where I have given my heart and my soul in my work and in teaching, people have been very nasty to me. And that has put me a little bit backwards in wanting to be out there and teach again.
Well, there's a lot of people out here who love you, and
I know.
And you're very, very inspired. So if you teach again, you just put out the word and you let us know, and we'll be there. But until then, we've put all of your links and everything so people can find you in the chats, and everybody just is so incredibly inspired by what you're doing and what you're making and what you're doing in your community.
Thank you. Another thing I've been just starting to do is also in the idea of random acts of kindness. There are so many little things that we can do that are can be such an elevating things for others, and which takes so little of us. We just have to think about it. So what I've been posting on Facebook a little bit of a story about that. I try to do an act of kindness every day. And an act of kindness, for example, I bought cookies for my cashier at Whole Foods. So I got everything on the went through, and then the last thing were the cookies, and I said to the cashier, and these are for you. And then I walked away. Another time I walked into another grocery store, and there were all these shopping carts strewn all over the parking lot because they had very few people at the moment working. So I went through, and it took me like 5 minutes. I grabbed all the shopping carts and brought them back to their station. Another thing that I've done is we have lots of flowers. We had at a certain moment hundreds and hundreds of sweet peas. So, and the sweet peas smell very strong. If you have 10 sweet peas in my room, it's really smelly. So I got a whole bundle. I collected a whole bundle of empty, tiny little bottles of syrup and that kind of stuff. And I made little bouquets and brought them through the neighborhood and set them in front of people's doors and rang the bell and left. Those are such small little things, saying hello to a neighbor or to a stranger. And another one of those little things with the same sweet peas. I had a whole bundle with me, and I went for my daily walk and just gave them to people while walking by. And those things, I think, are so important for us people to do at the moment with all the crap that is going on. I hope to inspire in that way.
I think it's working.
Good. It makes me happy.
And so you've inspired all kinds of people, that have been here tonight as well. And So,
And thank you so much to donating the money for tonight's little talk to a good cause. And
just in
it's
case anybody doesn't know, instead of paying Huib, he wants us to send the money to Planned Parenthood. And so his donation tonight is all going to Planned Parenthood.
perfect. Thank you for doing that.
Absolutely. And
Great job. Before we go, I would like to remind our members that we do have the display case at the State Fair this year, and you need to have your pictures into Rochelle or I or Julie Fletcher by Friday. We want to have a really good representation so we have a chance of getting the display case again.
yeah, if you'd like to display any of your pieces of any kind in our display case, Huib, we have an 8-foot by 6-foot by 1-foot display case at the Minnesota State Fair. And our
Lots of people will get to see it.
beads connect us.
Send me an address and I'll send you something.
Absolutely, will do.
And I'm also starting the signups to demonstrate at the State Fair. Our day is Wednesday, August 31st, and it's 2-hour shifts from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. I've only had 3 people besides myself and Roberta. So we need people to sign up and represent. It's a fun day. You get to talk to people about beading. You can bring a few of your pieces to show in the little side display case. And it promotes our group. And if
how
you
many-
bring a simple project to work on, you don't want anything real complicated because you can't concentrate so well, but something easy to work on to show people what beading really is. Thank you.
Yeah. So, yeah, we have, beads connect us is the theme.
Cool.
So we're very, very excited for that.
And you can email me, Becky Pancake, for State Fair signups. Thank you.
Any other questions for Huib, anyone? We are so,
Oh yeah, we had an Airbnb. We did it for a long time. We are now putting in the floors upstairs are going to be refinished because they were getting a little old, and we're putting in a kitchenette. And we might do the Airbnb again. We stopped that when the coronavirus started. But it was a very good thing to do. It for a couple of years paid our how do you call that? The money you've got to pay when you buy a house. Well, it was good money for a while.
Your mortgage?
My mortgage, it paid for the mortgage for a while. Yeah, exactly. That was what I was looking for.
wonderful. Okay, so I think we have an announcement from Alexandra Sidorenko, yes? You have to unmute to talk though. There you go.
You. First of all, I'm sorry that I'm interrupting you. I just want to tell that how happy I see you, and how happy I see all ladies. And because you talking about the humanity, about the how you inspired people, I just decided to share one little thing which I am doing to help, because I'm Ukrainian and there is a big trouble in Ukraine. So
A little bit.
My people is holding this brave.
I
So
know.
hopefully this will end up soon. But right now there is a situation which is very tough to Ukrainian girls, and many of them depending on their beading pieces. They sometimes selling those pieces just to get some food. So basically what I am doing right now, if I have a chance, I'm buying some beaded stuff from the Ukrainian girls. And I will tell you, 2 days ago, I have a whole packet with different stuff, and I just cannot help myself but tease you with this amazing craftsmanship.
Oh, cool.
And I guess, Huib, you know many of those girls personally, because
Oh,
probably, I'm not sure if you remember names, but Victoria Shevchenko, Natalie Balitska, Alla Vizir, Larissa Summer, those people who was in Kyiv when you was in Kyiv on the show. So I will try to turn my camera. Oh, seems like it's working. So instead of seeing my face, I will show you just amazing beadwork by Ukrainian artists. Just give me please 1 second. Here, okay, sorry, this is not. So the first piece is by Larissa Summer, and she did embroidered brooch. This is basically embroidery with a ribbon. She embellished this with little pearls, little seed beads, and little teeny tiny pieces of the soft French wire.
Nice.
So let me show this beauty closer, because definitely this piece deserves to be seen very close. So very extremely stylish work, lightweight, and she did this with real style. So second piece done by same artist. This is embroidered brooch. This is also ribbon embroidery, I'm sorry, with the little touch of the beads, French wire, and some crystals. And I just want to show you how dimensional it is. So as you can see, this is really gorgeous piece. Once again, this is the back side of this brooch. I will tell you this weight close to nothing. So, and this is little card, which she hand paint, hand draw, and send me as a little thank you. You see this extremely stylish, gorgeous piece. This is a pencil drawing. So this is Larissa Summer. Next artist I would like to show you would be Victoria Shevchenko. And this piece, this is combination, it's like a poem, I will tell you. When I saw this piece first, it was close to my birthday, and I asked my husband if I can have it as my birthday gift. So I ordered this from Victoria Shevchenko directly from Kyiv. She lives in Kyiv, Ukraine. She lives currently in Ukraine. And this is combination of so many different techniques. This is thread embroidery, and she did this dimensional, as you can see. There is a little bump on the head, the eyes a little bit down. So then she did embroidery with the pearls, with wire, with teeny tiny wire. You can see this little whiskers done with the wires, stone, seed beads, pearls, sequins, and feathers. This is gorgeous brooch, also very lightweight. So another piece made by same artist. This is this baby. Check the stylish dimensional brooch. The quality of those work is outstanding, and I will tell you that those people selling this piece is not expensive. For example, this brooch cost about $30 or something. Not so big money for us, but we definitely can help someone. So if you decided to have nice gift for someone, please just visit Ukrainian Girls pages and order this. Just keep in mind that shipping will take about 1 month at least, because to send from Ukraine, they have to send to Poland. And then just only from the Poland, they will be sending all over the world. This piece done by the 10-year-old boy. He is son of the Victoria. So when he made this, and I'm Alexandra, it used to be mine, so I got it. Another amazing piece done by Victoria. This is this gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous necklace. This is poppy flowers, very dimensional, very unusual. As you see, she worked with a agate slab, and she keep beauty of the stone, and she just add some touch and embellishment, so this stone just speaks. So, and it is another piece done by same lady, Victoria Shevchenko. This one. Teeny tiny pendant. And Let me show you. This is also the thank you card, which Victoria hand drew for me. And as you see, Ukraine, no war. And last piece, which I would like to show you, done by Natalie Balitska. And Natalie lives in Bucha. And I guess everyone knows what Bucha means now. So this brooch survives the Russian occupation of Bucha. She stay in this little owl stay in Natalie's apartment. Natalie ran under the rocket fire. Her car was under the fire when they was driving from Bucha to safe place. Months later, she was able to come back to her house, and that baby still stay in her apartment. So she posted this on Facebook, and I feel how disappointed she was. And she said, probably I will not be bidding anymore because no one in Ukraine will need this. And I immediately step up and I say, I measure because I can guarantee that work is just perfect and the craftsmanship is excellent. And you will help those people. I'm sorry for the interruptions and thank you.
And so could you send the link to that to Jan?
I would love to.
Add it to the website?
Let me try. Probably I can do this.
Put it in the chat here.
In chat, yes. I will provide link directly to the people who I mentioned.
Perfect. And then Jan can add it to the website.
Thank you. I will deeply appreciate this. And Rochelle, should I make you host again, or you are still?
I can do it. I think.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
I think I can do it. Let's see. So do we have any other questions for anybody or anything else? This has been so inspiring, and I really thank you for joining us. Oh my gosh. Huib, I just can't wait to make some more of those little fun critters. It makes me want to learn more bead crochet though too. And so the bead crochet patterns for all your little animals and stuff, you said you were not making those, you were using those, they were somebody else's pattern, or you were just making them?
The crocheted animals that are in the trees that are patterns that I find on Etsy and Ravelry.
Okay, so people can just search the pattern and find
Oh
it.
yeah, oh yeah. If you want, let me see. Amigurumi is one of them, and let me see. They're standing right here next to me. Or dinagurumi. Dinagurumi is one of them that I use a lot, and Mala Designs is another one that I use a lot.
Those cats are so cute. Oh my
Oh,
God.
they're cute.
Thank you.
And so, and then the beaded octopus, people want to know if that's a pattern you're gonna have out soon too.
I don't know about soon, but it will be a part of my.
Sometime in the future.
Exactly. Exactly. You know, I've now made 4 or 5 different ones, and I've constantly used the same bead to bead around, but every time, for some reason, the bead count is different. So I'm still working with size 11 seed beads around the same big bead. And every time I start the same way, and the increasing and decreasing has been different on all of them.
Maybe it's the tension in the beads.
Uh-huh.
Maybe the octopus has his own personality.
Exactly.
Oh, I love it. That is so great. And then because you're just using normal nylon thread to keep them, and so I'm just wondering how they last so long. Or you're not putting the beaded threads outside, just the crocheted threads outside.
Yeah, just the crocheted ones, not the beaded ones.
And so, because we're beading rocks and stuff and putting some of that outside, and
Oh, cool.
Chris Allen has a beaded rock project, and so in the gardens, and so we've been beading covering rocks.
Oh, cool. And I guess what the best thread to use for that is the fishing line. Where do I have it?
Are you talking about fire line?
Yeah, fire line would be the best. Fire line.
I think so too.
It does get worse over time, but it stays up for a very long time. It's one of the threads that holds the longest, as far as I know. That's what they're complaining about in the ocean of all the fishing line that has been left behind, and where the turtles get caught into, and because you cannot see it, a lot of the divers get also hooked into those fishing lines.
So better use it on beads than fish.
Exactly. Leave those animals alone.
Exactly. And then make your own animals.
Exactly. And I have fish patterns.
My favorite still is the ruby slippers.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, those were fun.
That's one of the patterns up for sale, guys, on his website.
Exactly. And
His slippers?
The ruby slippers, yeah.
If I turn this around, there they
That was
are.
years ago.
Yellow brick road and the
The
ruby
yellow
slippers.
brick road with the ruby
Mhm.
slip. That was again one of those. I was walking on the street, that this is how I do designs. The idea came to me to do the little red slippers. Then I went to our local shoe store, and I stood in the shoe store and studied the shoes on every side, looking how they were made. And the girls that were working there thought I was crazy standing there in the women's corner and didn't buy anything when I left. And so, and I looked online about how shoes are made, and I even found the blueprint for the ruby slippers on Google of the original design for the movie. And when you see it there, the slippers are two different colors, because in the movie, when they stand next to each other and click, the lighting made them look the same, but they're both a different color. Anyways, one day I was walking down the hill to do some shopping, and I see in the corner of my eye something red in the middle of the street, and that turned out to be a Barbie shoe. I grabbed that Barbie shoe and took it home, and within 2 hours I had the design for the shoes.
I love where your inspiration comes from. Don't ever change, Huib.
I'll do my best.
Okay, good.
Thank you so much for spending your time with us. We so appreciate it.
And thank you for spending some time with me. It was fun.
It's been a pleasure. Everyone at the Upper Midwest Bead Society thanks you so much.
You're welcome.
And now we're all gonna go home, and I can't wait to see what everybody makes now.
All right. Have a good evening, everyone.
Thank you, you too. See you
Bye.
later, everybody.
See you later.
Whoops, supposed to stop the recording.